Information Systems, which is page 12, Department 155.
I thought you were going to stay.
I can stay if you want.
I thought Bill was going to help out on this one.
I did too. I thought he was
stay.
going to
Yeah,
stay
why
up
not?
here. That'd be nice.
I'm having so much fun.
Is this a hand-holding job?
Hi, all. I'm Trish Shropshire. I'm the Deputy IT Director. It was great. I didn't know that Bill was going to talk so much about Munis. I did a little handout for you guys, and I attached a Munis module. I'll give you one, Bill. It's nice and in color. Of all the modules, you already know, that we implemented, what's in progress, and what needs to be implemented. We are going to change some of it around just because the collectors... Oh, sorry, can you hear me now? Sure, I'm sorry. See, I needed Bill to help me out. Down in the collector's office, we have the change in personnel happening. We have 2 people leaving, so I think that might push back the taxes implementation just a little bit, although I do have a lot of the data over to Munis. We're going to move up that permits and codes module, and we have a call in on that on Friday. So informationally, I just wanted to give you guys what I had passed out at the selectmen meeting. And then what I did was I attached the memo that I gave to Mike, and I also attached an Excel spreadsheet just listing out all the supplies and services. As you know, this is my first budget. I inherited it, so I thought it'd be good to go through every line item. So I'd be more than happy to answer any questions you guys have, or if you need me to explain anything. Or if you look at it now and want me to explain something later, my office is over there in the corner. I'm here all the time.
Does the board want to go down through all these one by one, or does anybody have any questions on any of it? Dave?
Yeah, thank you, through you, Mr. Chairman. So this memorandum we're handed out is the line item for purchase of services on your budget? Is that what that is? I just want to understand, there's on the first page after the memo.
Oh, I just did a spreadsheet that just itemized some of the supplies and services that take up a lot of our budget, and I thought it'd be good to give you guys that. Is that what you're talking about?
The 225,143 is the proposed
Right.
FY18.
Right, and most of it is just renewal of application, like maintenance services and stuff like that. So that's why I did that sheet.
I guess I need help understanding something about this. So there was, when Munis was first brought to town meeting for funding, a lot of the equipment, software, support, everything soup to nuts was going to be included in the budget that was approved.
It's not the only software we use on the town side. I also have stuff in here that we support the fire and police department with.
Also, David,
General maintenance stuff, email, internet, our firewalls.
Yeah. And there is an annual fee for Munis. We actually did a transfer at the fall town meeting. There is an annual fee for Munis.
Let me get...
It's called a maintenance fee rather than a license fee, and it assures that we always have the latest edition.
There's training at the bottom of this, which, all right, let's make sure we understand what we're talking about here. There's new Dell servers for $22,000. Are those used for Munis or something else?
What I did was I put actually an amount of
Trish,
computers
can you
in here
speak
for
into the mic?
new computers, not refurbished, because we've been purchasing refurbished computers in the past. So we thought it would be better to lighten up the load on the technicians, because they wouldn't be, servicing the computers so much if they were brand new. That's a little bit of the increase. The other increase that Mike was talking about was we got an appropriation for the $68,000 bill for Munis that was overlooked. So that is some of my increase that's in here.
I don't see 68,000, so I'm not sure where. Is that in the budget that you?
I can check it.
I'm looking at this.
That's okay. We got an appropriation for it, and they stuck it in here. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So all this is kind of just my sheet, just giving you an
I'm
outline.
glad. No, I'm very happy
Yeah.
you gave the sheet. So is the Munis software sharing hardware resources with other applications, or is it dedicated equipment?
Right. I've got everything on here, from just our general supplies to our firewall upgrades that we want to do, our toners, backup, a new server for the Patriot server, and then this services part, the second part of that sheet. Most of those, well, actually, every single one of those is renewals for applications that we currently use.
Right, so I'm looking to see how much overlap there is with the resources needed to run Munis versus
Right.
things
So
that are
once-
just IT stuff that you need.
Right, so when we're fully off of KVS, we'll be able to save some additional money. And like Bill was saying, when we're fully off of Continental, the utility billing, we'll be able to save some money. That's why I thought it would be good just to let you know which modules we're in the progress of implementing right now. So I expect some of this to, and maybe I should have done that in another color, and I can do that.
Yeah, I just had a very, very simple question. Out of the budget line item, which I think is great, to see everything line
Okay.
item like that, is how much of the resources that you're adding to your budget are being used to support the software package in Munis, or is it shared, or is this stuff dedicated to things outside of Munis?
Most of
wanna know
it's
how much
dedicated
is
to
shared.
outside Munis. What we actually have, the contract that we have with Munis already has like training and implementation days in it. So this is additional things outside of Munis that we have. But some of the applications on here, like you see KVS, that'll be something, and Acela, those will eventually be gone when we go over to those modules. So some of it is existing software that we're paying for that we will be eliminating once we have all the modules fully implemented.
All set,
Did I
Bill?
answer your question okay?
No.
No.
That's okay, though. What I'm trying to find out is that when the town created a budget, when
Right.
Munis was first presented as an article to town meeting, there was a large sum of money, and the way it was positioned for the town when they voted was that many of the requirements to deploy and maintain, at least in year one, were going to be covered. So coming back, I guess this is the second year after deploying Munis, there's new resources being line itemed, so close to when we first launched. In other words, I envisioned when we voted that there was a large approval to be able to give enough resources to launch Munis. So I just want to understand that how much additional funds were needed to launch Munis that were maybe not budgeted in that article.
Okay.
I just want to understand extra.
Trish,
So the
hold-
only things in
Trish,
my
hold it-
list...
Hold on a second.
I think
Mr. Hartman.
everything associated with Munis has been drawn from that article, and there is still a balance in that article. Bill can tell you the exact balance that's left.
There is a balance left out of the 750. It's roughly, then I can look it up.
Trish, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Is some of these costs incurred because the software is like protected, like by the company that's sold it to you?
Oh, yeah, and we get...
Because you can't just bring somebody in,
No.
and it has to be them.
Yep, and especially with our applications and our departments, we need to make sure we have the security that's in place. But yeah, regular maintenance fees and support, most of it is.
Thank you.
The services is bigger than the supplies.
John?
Yeah, a quick question. How secure is the town's IT system. Are we subject to ransomware or some of the other malware?
Well, I did speak the other night asking for additional money for our firewalls, because we replaced all the firewalls on the school side and not on the town side. So hopefully that does get approved. You know, we haven't had any catastrophes since I've been here, and I don't know about shortly before I got here. We have had a couple of viruses.
Because
The
a
school recently had one, but
couple of towns you
Yeah,
read
we-
about
we
have,
are
So
not
we're
as up to
working
date
on
as the
that.
schools, but the capital program you will see when you begin to review the articles for the Springtown meeting does include significant investment in firewalls for the town side. The school is fully implemented, is my understanding.
Yeah.
And we have a ways to go.
Yeah, we'd like to
I
upgrade all
think
of
it's
ours.
a worthwhile investment.
So do I.
Given the Russians.
Yep, yep.
Bill, you all set?
Okay, David, so we have $33,861 left in that article. That cannot be used for annual support, that's only for implementation, so.
So how much of the 33 can we apply towards the requested budget in this presentation?
Well, no, this is, her numbers are for annual support.
Right,
This is,
so-
the article is for implementation only. You can't use borrowed funds for annual operating expense.
Okay, so did the design of the requirements fall short in the year that it was, when the article was presented, where additional things needed to be added to bring Munis to where it needed to be? Like, did it come up short, and that's
No.
why we're seeing this? Or is this totally independent of Munis? This budget has nothing to do with Munis? That's all my question is
Yeah.
this independent of Munis, or is this beefing, are we beefing up?
Well, this is,
Are we trying to beef up the resources for Munis or not?
well, you have a municipal support, right?
I have two small munis amounts in here.
Tyler,
Yep,
yeah.
because this is the munis support agreement.
Right, so, yeah, the Tyler is the 86,000 is for the support, and that's for the town and the schools now, don't forget. The schools used to pay support for their own accounting system. So anything on here is basically just 1 year's annual support. So you'll see these things every year. No.
You good? Is anybody else? Steve?
Hello.
Hi.
I'm still having a hard time finding where the Munis fees are, the subscription fees.
Okay, so on the...
Which line item in the subscriptions is that, the services?
Yep, it's under services. So there's a sheet that shows my whole entire budget, and then the spreadsheet that I did, that
Yep.
I try to break it down, I have the 86,000, which is for
The Tyler
Tyler
Technologies.
Technologies, that's for Munis.
That's Munis, okay.
Yep. That's the largest one.
Could you use the microphone, sir?
And back up to the supplies, sorry.
Yeah.
So I see the 40 new computers being purchased?
Mm-hmm.
Is that replacing all the computers? I mean, how many
No.
devices in town?
No, I just figured if we could try to get on a maintenance program and replace as many as we can a year, on a rotation.
So
that
how
would
many are in town? Like, how many are in your plan? Are you
have
doing
more
40
than
a year?
40, and we replaced like 25 this year, so, it would take, I have to get the exact amount because we're going to some devices too that
I
aren't...
missed that again. How many total?
Like, say 300 total.
Okay.
Yeah, so I won't be able to replace
And
all
I guess
of them.
I
you
would like to point out that the change here is that in the past, the town side has only had refurbished computers, and we have a pretty high failure rate. And we constantly have techs in the building trying to keep these things running. So one of the things Trish has recommended and we're implementing is we're now going to go to new computers to see if we can get better life out of them.
So what's the refresh cycle you're looking at now, 3 years?
Yeah, I'd like to do 3 years, but we have to see. Maybe we could go 4 if we had to stretch it. I also, this is my first year, so I'm really kind of assessing, where our strengths are, where we need help, and trying to do a lot
All set, thanks.
with the money we have.
Is anybody? John?
Trish,
Yeah.
just, I know you're talking, you have like 300 units that you're going to try and maintain. You're going to try and get them on a rotational basis, so you're going to keep them up to date.
Mm-hmm.
And just, what do you expect for a life cycle out of these machines?
Well, I know that some of the refurbished ones haven't been lasting that long, so that was one of the
But I
biggest...
mean,
of the new
going into
ones?
the program where you want to replace them with new, what are you expecting for a life cycle?
I'm hoping 3 to 4 years.
Right, but, well, I'm just saying, if you're looking at 3 years, you're talking about 100 machines a year then.
Right.
If you get to a point where you
But
could get in there.
some of them don't get a lot of usage and may not need to be replaced that often, so it also depends on, who the user is.
All right, so what would you expect if you can phase this in over time?
Mm-hmm.
What would you be expecting to be replacing every year, once you got everything done and you got into this system of replacement? How many do you think you'd be doing?
Well, I think the biggest thing is to have a system in place. Right now, we don't. So if somebody calls and their computer isn't working, like, we don't have an inventory of how old the computer is, when's the last time it's been replaced, and we just react to replacing it.
Right, but
So
I'm
I'd like to
saying-
be a little proactive. So I think, and this is my first time being in this type of environment, so I'd like to make sure that everybody has the tools that they need to effectively do their job. Time frame of rotating them out, I haven't really figured that out yet, but I thought the first thing I'd like to do is start purchasing some new computers.
Well, I
Because refurbished
understand,
ones
and I'm
aren't
just
working.
trying to look long-range,
Yeah.
what you would be anticipating down the line.
Right.
And I understand, where you're fairly new or what have you, you may not have a,
No, I want to do it. I'd like to do a 5-year plan, and I haven't gotten to the point of doing all of that yet, but it is high on the list of figuring that out, so I don't
the
have
main
a
thing I'm
time.
trying to get to is, I was trying to get from you, because I think you're going to be asked it later. If
Yep.
you're looking to buy these now, and obviously if you're telling us at this point you have 300 units that you need, round numbers, if you get 300 units you want to do, and you're hoping to get in a 3-year rotation, it's 100 machines a year, but obviously some are more heavy used than others, and if you're going to be doing a rotation, there's got to be some anticipation. And it's just forward-looking that,
Yeah.
are you expecting that you might have to do 75 a year, or 50 a year, or 60 a year? Just so people understand what they're getting into and what they might be looking at for a commitment. Because you're not just planning for 1 year, we're trying to plan,
Right.
looking out 5 years and 10 years and...
First of all, like, we probably have, I think we have maybe 350 employees on the whole town side. Not everybody has a computer, so I can't even give you the exact number because I don't have an inventory. I would like to, I think like 4 years would be great, but I'm assuming maybe some of those might be devices, even our DPW people, the fire department, the police department, we might have a device in every vehicle. I'd have to do a little bit more assessing to that. So some of this might just not be computer replacement, it just might mean that a lot of these people need devices in their hands.
All right.
Yeah.
Just
So
trying to get an idea what
I
you're looking
know,
at.
I know, and I would love to give you an exact number and what my total idea is yet, but I don't know. I need to, and we have new systems going in, so I need to anticipate that a little bit more. When TriTech fully gets implemented in the fire department, how is that going to change things? Is it going to alleviate some of the need for some of the desktops in some of these buildings? I think so, So I don't think we'll be putting out 300 new computers, but I think most town people may need a device of some sort.
All right. Fair enough.
Yeah,
Thank you.
and I promise, as soon as we get a plan, I'll get it to you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Jody, you got something?
This may sound like a dumb question. Are these all desktops, laptops?
We have, the computers here, yes,
Desktops.
desktops.
No, I guess my question, certain employees will have laptops. Are they allowed to bring them home and do work at home? And, well, my only concern, like you said, wear and tear, I hope the kids aren't doing their homework on them. I mean, because they're obviously going to take a little bit more abuse and
Yeah.
whatever, but there's no way of policing that. I understand that.
Larry Gray would have known. Dr. Camacho.
Thank you for your presentation. I wanted to ask this question, which I think is important. Do you feel that you have, do you believe professionally that you have the appropriate firewalls in place now to protect the town, this side of the town government? I mean, you spoke about the schools have everything in place.
Right.
What about this side?
We just, actually, I just spoke in front of the selectmen the other day for additional money to replace all of our firewalls on the town side. So no, I would love to see them upgraded.
So you're thinking about waiting until after July 1st to do that? Or are you looking for monies to do that immediately?
If I could get the money immediately, I would have it. I didn't think it worked that way. So we just proposed this, and as soon as we get the money, we will replace the firewalls.
Where would I find the cost of the firewalls that you want on here?
We have a proposal for new firewalls that we'd like to get.
Which ones would
It would
those
be
be?
under Article 19 we're
Yeah, it will
proposing.
be under Article 19 at the annual town meeting. Oh, I think you have to add the two.
Well, we have 20,000 for the town hall and 28,700 for the rest of them.
It's $48,700 is what we proposed in the capital.
And that's in an
under
article?
19.
What is this then in your supplies that says certain firewall upgrades, 12,000?
Well, we had, apparently, the capital budget to get new firewalls has been in for a couple of years and hasn't been passed. So we were going to try to stick whatever we could in our operational if it didn't get passed, because it's so important.
So, in other words, we are not then fully protected at this point in time, is that correct?
I believe we're protected, but I think we should have newer equipment.
So, in other words, do you also monitor the use of the computers? In other words, do you use any blocking software so that users, you receive a report if someone tries to go into a site that's been blocked or should be blocked?
They do more blocking on the school side, but there is blocking that
about this
occurs.
side?
There is blocking that occurs over in the town side, but it's more things are filtered over in the school just because of the students, but yes.
And what about emails that come through with attachments that may contain
Yeah,
programs?
Yep, we pay a service to assist us with that.
Which one is that on here? Do
It's
you have
the
anything you want to have upgraded here?
It's the MECnet. That helps us with email archiving, MECnet.
I don't see it on here. Oh, I see it, yes,
Yeah.
thank you. So in other words, to upgrade the firewalls, you want 12,000 in the line item in your budget, and then you have an article that has 48,700, is that correct?
It's not exactly correct, because if I get the money in the article, I won't need to use the money in my supply budget to do that.
I see. And you think that you can wait until after July 1st to do this? To keep the
thought-
town safe?
Yeah, I thought we could chip away if I wasn't able to get it. I was told that this has been a capital item for a couple years, and it was in there even before I got here, so I figured I would ask again, just because cybersecurity is so important, and I think our fire department, our police department, all of all of our information on this side of town is very important.
Well, I think it's important also. That's why I think that you should do something about trying to upgrade as soon as possible and not wait till July 1st.
I would love that. As soon as I get the money, we'll upgrade it.
I say thank you for your presentation.
Thank you for all your questions.
Does anybody on the board have, go ahead, Steve.
Sorry,
That's
you
okay.
said that the MECnet that's under email archiving, is also doing scanning?
Yep, they help us with the scan, and the firewalls do. The firewalls do, too. We have multiple things going on. But yes, they also help us with the archiving.
So the firewalls are doing scanning for emails coming in?
I believe so. We use Gmail, and I can double-check on that, but we have Gmail for our, we have see the Vivo company? That's where we get our Gmail licenses from. They also assist us. They're like our support.
Okay, thanks.
You good, Steve? Vaughn?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I had a couple of questions on this. The Tyler Technologies, that's
Yep.
for the Munis.
Yep, Munis.
That's an $86,000 fee, license fee? Okay, now
It's-
last year, or recently at the special town
Yep.
meeting, we had $68,000 or $69,000.
Yep.
I haven't even asked it yet, but
We had the difference elsewhere. We just needed the $68,000 transferred in from another section. We had the balance elsewhere.
the invoice that we had for that fee, how much was the invoice for?
I believe it was in the vicinity of the $86,000.
So we had other money that we applied
Yes,
for this? Okay.
yes, we didn't ask for more than we needed to have transferred.
The other questions I had on this were, there are a list of different software license things on here. When Munis is fully implemented, are any of these going to be gone? And if so, which ones would they be? And a follow-up question would be, when would this be fully implemented so we can cross these monies off the list?
Sure. KVS, Information Systems, KVS Oracle, and Acela are all part.
So both KVS, Information Systems, and Oracle, and Acela,
Right, I just have to...
those
I-
three items will be off of the spending in the future as soon as Munis is fully implemented?
Yeah, I just have to double-check on Acela because our assessor's office uses an application that transfers into KVS, so if they would be totally off.
So those three pieces of this budget will be off of future budgets after Munis is fully
Right,
implemented?
that's why I thought it was relevant if I included the chart of
Okay.
where we are in the Munis migration.
Now, my other question was, these three jobs that these pieces of software do, are we currently paying a fee to Munis for those modules that
No,
do these things?
the rest-
These three, whatever these three jobs that they do, and I don't know enough about software to know what these three things do, but these three pieces, are we paying Munis also a fee to do these same three for the modules? I know Munis is broken up into modules depending on the job that it does.
No, because we haven't fully implemented it. We haven't implemented those modules yet.
But are we paying the fee for those modules? That's my question, because I saw the Munis invoice, and it was broken up by a lot of different modules, and I was unaware of what these three things did, so I couldn't really look at the Munis thing and cross-check it.
Yes, we are. We paid, I believe when they purchased it, they paid a total package for all the modules.
Okay, so we are paying software for these three things currently under Munis, and paying this software at the same time?
Right, they have like a yearly fee, I believe.
Okay, I didn't know if we were paying software, I didn't know if we were paying for two batches of software that did the same thing, and we are, is what you're saying. All right, thank you.
Bill?
Yeah, I just wanted to, another benefit of Munis so far is, don't forget, we used to pay for an outside payroll service. We used to spend $25,000 to $30,000 a year for that. Now we're doing the payroll in-house, so that's another saving, so.
Okay. Anybody in the audience have anything? Thank you, Trish. Thanks, Bill.
You're welcome.